G'day guys, I'll just wait for everyone to jump in. Tethering through my phone, so I better make sure that's plugged in. Alright, hope you're all well. Some short trades have been popping up alright late. Oh, I better mute that one. Hope you're all well. Oh, what have I done with that chat? I'll just wait for a few more people to jump in, guys. And if you can hear me, when you can hear me, can you just type in yes, please? Of course, this scan is brought to you by FTX. This is the platform that I use for my futures perpetual trading. It's got a lot of good options, and I love it. You know, I think I'll continue to support good businesses that are doing good things. So if you don't have an FTX account already, click on the link below or the description below. There's two things that are there currently that are of importance. One of them is the 10% off that you would get for trading on this platform. So 10% deduction in your trading fees. But also it shows you how to raise an order for a long trade. And remember last time, I've been talking for a while about, I know people have been asking if I could do a short trade on the platform as well. And guess what? I said to you, I was waiting until I actually had a trade to take. So I like doing things live, a live example. To just go and do a willy-nilly one, it doesn't feel right to me. So I like to make sure that I'm actually doing it and talking you through it. Now, as it turned out, I already had the order raised on my other account, so I had to bring another account in. But you'll see. It'll go out probably maybe tomorrow morning, maybe today. I don't know. I've got to speak to some social media manager. There you go. To get that out. So yeah, you'll have that opportunity to see that, how to manage your risk and all that as well. All right. Just the other thing is, in Australia, it's the end of the financial year today at midnight, the 30th of June, and we've got up to 50% off on some of our products as well. If you're already a member of our trading courses, you get 50% off community and live trading floor. If you're somebody who hasn't done our courses at all before, well, you can get 50% off subscriptions and 20% off the actual trading strategy course. If you want to get the rest of them, that is, of course. This is about doing a scan. So let's do it. Any questions, please do ask as we go. First things first. Hubbity bubbity bubbity. We're jumping into the top 10 right here. Opportunities lately, yeah, there's been a couple. Yesterday, I got short EOS. There's a cradle here, but it was actually the 30-minute that I took this, and I actually quite like this little flat level in here. Now, it wasn't perfect for a breakout. It wasn't perfect, but excuse me. There was a little bit of a bee's dick break there. I actually quite liked it as a 4-hour cradle here. I also liked the 8-hour, but what I didn't like about it was that the stop was going to have to be way up here. I didn't like it for that sort of a move, so I left it real wide, and I went for. So I left the wide stop, and I went for the stop down in here as a breakout trade. Got my 1-to-1, got my stop to here as I trailed it down those lower highs, and I got taken out for a profit. So there has been profits around. The other trade that I currently have open still is what you might know. It's the FTX. What we did with FTX with giving you guys that cradle course for free. Little bearish candle right there. The EOS trade was a breakout on the 30-minute. And I went for the 8-hour here on XRP, so I had 2% risk on that. So yeah, I made sure that I just took a double. So this one I'm still in, still live. It's right around entry point right now. So there have been some opportunities out there for short. I think that was actually the one that I did the example for on the actual short order list. So across the board, you can see the only market that's currently holding itself up at the moment is Tron, interestingly enough. So let's go ahead and have a look at the whole perpetual list. Thanks, Chris. I am actually feeling a little bit better. I still sound a little bit worse for wear, but apart from the odd bark here and there, I just had a cold. It's all good. Okay. So Bitcoin lower high, lower low. Look, there's a couple of things to speak of. It's weird. The TradingView hasn't saved the level that I had drawn in. Just give me one moment. I just got to do something quick. Make sure this internet stays on. So it worked. There we go. Sorry, just making sure it has worked there. Okay, so looking at this now, I can see lower high. We've got the potential for further lows here. I'm just looking at this level through here. Look, it's not a perfect level by any stretch of the imagination, and if anything, it's probably a bit of a bounce of 9,000. There's no major support through there. They're not two tests at the same specific level. I'm not really too bothered by that. It's more just looking at that, going, okay, we're kind of going between 99 and 89. We got $1,000 range, and because we haven't got that really strong good trend there, it's really difficult to be too bullish or too bearish. Now, overwhelmingly for me, longer term, I think Bitcoin will definitely have another good move. I shouldn't say definitely. I believe it will have another good move to the upside. It's just a matter of timing that. As a trader. As an investor, I can just buy it and hold it if I want to, right? As a trader, I'm looking to get in and get out and get in and get out and make money long term and short term with my trading account. So right now, the trends aren't great. I've got to be honest. It's been, you've heard me say it week in and week out. The trends have been messy for a long time. Look, we get a lower low, high, higher low, higher high. As soon as we get a higher high, back to a lower low. Look at the 4 hour. We get a lower high, lower low. We're in a downtrend, higher low. We're in it's not got much follow through, and it's not of all the charts out there, Bitcoin is kind of dead to me right now. It can change very quick. If we push on to a proper higher high through here, we have one, but if we get some decent cyclicity, we've got to get this breaking and moving. I've been making my money in the lower time frames. I know there's an 8-hour cradle that I'm in on XRP, but I'm not in profit yet. It's around that break-even point. So my money's been made on that sort of half-hour and 15-minute, maybe 60-minute time frames. That's just getting in, getting my money, getting out, following my strategies. The higher time frames have been really lackluster when it comes to follow-through, and I can see it continuing for a little while until it changes, of course. We saw Ethereum pull back into this region again, old resistance there. Let's go forward and have more of a look. 4 hour, it's not good enough for me. I'm not interested in that at all. I'll move on. Cardano had a pretty good bounce back, a couple of good days, 3 and 5 pretty much. If you're struggling with the lower time frame, if you can let me know why, like what exactly is it that you're struggling with on those lower time frames, that would help me. So you let me know that, and I can probably be a little bit more service to you. Cardano at the moment, no, that trend's not strong enough for me. Algorand, the only issue I've got here is the daily. We've got a high to a lower low, but it doesn't discount. It discounts the 12. The 8's kind of fallen straight down, so there's no good lower highs and lower lows. There's no good cyclicity there. No. The 4 hour. The 4 hours got a lower high, lower low. It's pulling back in again. But, I mean, I can't really talk to breakouts because I know most of you haven't learnt those. So there's nothing really there. We're talking about looking for cradles here to match up with what you've learnt. Again, if you want this perpetual list, just email us. Okay? Just email admin@tradercobb.com. Ask for the perp list. They'll know what it is. They'll send it to. Let's have a look at altcoin. The level here. Oh, question. How often do you check what Bitcoin's doing before taking a trade on the alts? If I've got alts in a watch list, I don't really care what Bitcoin's doing. I don't really care. Sure, I know Bitcoin can have a big spike and change everything, but those spikes generally happen out of nowhere. If I always live in fear that I'm going to get taken out because Bitcoin does something, I'd never trade. No, I don't really. I mean, that's why I've got that top 10 list, see? I got that top 10 list for one simple reason. I've got it there because I just want a quick snapshot of a top 10. That's usually what I go and do. Altcoin. Oh, geez. I mean, higher, low, higher, high, low, pull back. It's in the right area, but it's not too much there that I like at this. I mean, that was a nice pullback because we did have that downtrend, but it's broken back up again. So not much there either. Okay, question. Say on the 4 hour in a downturn and pulling back, okay, downtrend and pulling back into the cradle. So I head down to the lower time frames and the 15, 30 and sometimes 1 hour in an uptrend and ticking the rules. So I enter along and get wrecked every time. Well then, if that's a time frame that's not working for you, I mean, what you've got to do is you've got to understand that there's a bonus factor, okay, for the cradle trade. For example, one of those bonus factors is trading in the direction of the daily trend. Another one is having all the time frames in agreement. If you're noticing that, and this is why I say take screenshots of your trade. This is why I'm teaching people how to run a trading business with my education, not just how to read TA. TA is a waste of time unless you know what you're doing with it, and unless you're running a business. It's 15 to 20% of what I do. But at the end of the day, if you can see that when you've got opposing trends, for example, why not focus on just trading when you've got the daily trend in the same direction? That can limit how many trades you take. If you take fewer trades, then it won't be a baptism of fire. I'm not sure if you've gone through all the different strategies, but there's Fibonacci you can employ in there as well that might help to build out the better cradles to plan your trades. I'm not sure if you're in the live trading floor that I do each day, because that's sort of where I talk my plan through and explain why I'm trading on the lower time frames. Because I share it every day, 5 days a week, 9 o'clock in the morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time. I do a scan of a lot of stuff. I'm looking at a couple of hundred charts, and it takes about half an hour, 45 minutes. And people watch that with me, and I set my plan for the day out. That might help as well. Have you ever done a video on leverage? Is it something you look into? No, I don't look into leverage at all. I manage my risk. So it doesn't matter how much leverage you use. If you're risking, say, $500 on the trade, the leverage doesn't matter. With FTX, it will decide for you how much you're using based on the amount of leverage you're using. Be aware of the fees at different levels of leverage. To be aware of how many trades you're going to have open at any one time. I've never maxed out the amount of leverage that I've needed. So I don't bother with leverage. I bother with managing my risk. That's what I love. One of the things I love about FTX is it does have that risk calculator. So Robert, best thing for you to do would be to watch in the description below here where you can open your account. Underneath that, it's got how to raise an order or FTX order or whatever it is. Have a watch of that because I'll show you how to use their risk calculator in that particular order. So in that particular video, and then you don't have to worry about anything else. Once you've done that, it's much, much easier, mate. Okay, so there's nothing there on alt perp, and thanks for the questions too. I enjoy this, and my objective is to help you guys. If you can tell me what you're struggling with, it makes my job a lot easier. I've been there, I've done that. Don't forget, I've been around a while. No hair. Okay, lower high, lower low. You just get a bit of a better perspective. I always jump out, trying to get a bit of a better perspective. Look, it is back in that cradle zone. Let's have a look at that 2-day. Do we have a trend there? I guess we do. It's not the greatest. Good on you, Mr. Johnson. It's weird saying that. I think of something else when I say that. John, I'll jump back to that, mate. Just give me a bit. I'll get through the rest of this and I'll jump back to Bitcoin. The question here has got to be, I've got to have the daily, T1 and the next higher time frame in the correct order, right? That trend, look, it is there. It's not the greatest of downtrends, to be honest. It's not the clearest. It's not a standout. The moving averages are in the correct order. I mean, look, tell you what, mark that for tomorrow. Put it in the too hard box for now. Ooh, Bitcoin Cash. Okay, let's 12. I'll jump to the 16. Yeah, I can have a look at Matic when we get there, Mr. King. The issue that I've got here with Bitcoin Cash, I mean, you might be looking at that going, well, hang on, look, he's right in the cradle zone. I mean, and you'd be right. You'd be bang on the money there. Problem that I've got is this, you know, like, you've got a high and a low. If we hadn't have broken that high, then we would have that trend there. Look at how sideways it is. Look, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of room for further downside here. There's plenty of room to make money on that. But I don't think for me it's going to be off the 12 right here. I just don't have that trend that I'm after. I don't forget, you know, you might not get that higher time frame trading opportunity, but if you go lower, as that trend starts to play out, man, you can find those opportunities, and that's the sort of way I like to play things out. Is you are allowed to have a second bite at the cherry. Binance. Now this is a better looking daily trend. Look, lower high, lower low, pulling back. Ooh, 12. What do you got for me? It's just a chart. I can't get in trouble for that. Is it normal that the fees are at... You might be trading low dollars, Jono, or you might be trading very large positions with very tight stop losses. You're better off asking Kevin and the guys there in the team about that. They're on Telegram, so there's a Telegram... I think you just search for FTX. There's two. There's one trading one and one that's about the platform. That's the perfect place to ask those questions. And I actually think you get a quicker response in there than on the support thing. Obviously, the support thing's for asking about particular deal tickets and whatnot. But yeah, jump into that. Okay, so back to Binance. You know what? I'm gonna say that's all right. It's about exactly the same high, so we're gonna call that equal low. So we're gonna go lower high, and down we go. All right. 12 hour. What other bonus factors can I throw in here? I've got one. Look, I've got to be honest, mate. Mate, it's like I'm talking to one person. There's a couple of spikes still. Look, it's not precise. But in saying that, you know, in 6 hours and 41, 10 o'clock tonight, don't forget that. You get a 10 a.m. and you get a 10 p.m. on the 12. No shit. Both will be below. So, look, I'm happy with that right now. I really am. I think that's a little doozy. Just matched that with the daily. The daily, yeah, that trend was fine. I looked at the 16 as well. Well, yeah, 16, 12, maybe even the 8. No, not the 8 because it pulled back, moved away, come back in again. No, it's not going to be the 8. It's going to be up on that 12 that I like Binance. It's got to close bearish still. It's got to stick to the rules, but it's in the right spot. Put it that way. BSV. Oh, you want to see Lance? Did you get this one, mate? Was it this one you caught? No, it wasn't. It was BSV on the breakout. So there's been some ripper options this week. This week, what day is it? Tuesday. Last week. It was on Saturday or Sunday. What was it? What's today? 30th. Sunday. Look, this wasn't the best example. Check that out. Boom. Now, you haven't got that strategy, guys, because you're not done... those that have gone through the courses have the breakout, but you got the Bitcoin Cash, EOS, and XRP. And, okay, righto, mate. Brag. Go on. Your beers are on you then, mate. Pretty you live so far away and your borders are bloody shut. I can't get up there. BSV right now, though, I mean, let's be realistic here. Nah, it's a little bit cooked, a little bit too far. A little bit too far for me. I'll move on. Bitmax sideways. Check it out. Not too keen on that, to be fair. Not too keen at all. Doge. Tell you what I do like Doge on. This daily is a nice downtrend. A really nice downtrend. A really, really nice downtrend. Check this out, though. Let's go to here. It's just a bit sideways. Those of you who are from my community who do know the breakout, you might want to just keep an eye on that. Look, it's not there yet. I'm going to chuck that into our little ready list. And we'll keep moving. Dragon. Rawr. It's been hanging up there. But it's not. It's kind of just too sideways for me right now. You got a couple of stop outs, mate. Happens, Ash. As long as you're following the rules correctly and taking your screenshots and, you know, focusing on becoming a better trader, you can't really go wrong. And minimize it. If you do get in a losing streak, just crank the risk back. You know, go from 1% to 0.5% or 0.25, or go through the whole plan that we covered, as in risk management plan. Because yeah, it's like I said, it's not just about trading strategy. It's about risk plans as well. Super low volume Doge, Adam Algo, always a little wary. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're going to trade the lower time frames with larger positions, you need to have that liquidity. Ooh, this could be a little... So this was the one that I was stalking for the break earlier in the week. Look at that. Just... Look, I've got to be on, like, you know, check this out, right? That's a stop there. Oh, hang on. Again, it's a breakout. But let's look at the potential on that. Now, obviously, you know, that's 12 to 1. Now, that's at the low. It's not realistic you're going to catch all that, but what a move. This is why I love this market. It just goes absolutely stupid. And all you got to do is be in. And look, even if you're a crap trader, you're going to have at some point when you're in. Imagine what you can do. Like, I've been doing this for 14 years in other markets. It's less trades for bigger profits. I just wish it'd trend a bit more, you know. We got some trends coming up now, so let's not... I won't bitch and moan too much. Okay. Excuse me. Right. Ethereum Classic. Again, the issue I've got is I've got a high to a low, so this 8-hour time frame is not going to cut the mustard. 4. No, I'm not interested there. I don't know if I'm going to get anything. Nope. I'm going to go past that on the exchange perp. That level's no longer valid. That level's no longer valid. We'll jump out of there. We'll jump back to here. For me, let's look at that weekly. Might be tasty. Weekly looks good. Needs to break the high of that candle. Not looking for a trade on the weekly because I don't want to carry those rollover costs each day and night in the perpetual contract. If I was going to do a weekly, I'd look at the futures. But the quarterly futures is going to end, I think it's the end of June. So today, which means maybe tomorrow I could raise the order. No, I've got 3 months before, you know, the next one kicks in. But there's not as much liquidity on those, but you don't, you know, with a weekly you got a wide position, so it wouldn't be a problem. More importantly, what I would like to see is I'd like to see this create a higher low, break the high of this candle. If we go boom, we break above there, we'll have a higher low, higher high, we'll have a trend then. And if we start to get that trend moving, like you can see here, you know, we get another pullback and a higher high, we will have that nice cyclicity. That's when I'll start to see weekly, daily, you know, 8-hour, 4-hour, all trending. And speaking back to you, was it Johnson? I can't remember who it was. The question about getting stopped out a bit on the lower time frames. That's what I'm after. Is I'm looking for all those time frames to be in agreement. And when I get that, that's when it really makes it a lot more highly probable that you're going to bank those lower time frame profits. If you're not somebody who's been trading for a long time, and you're not in that live trading floor with us where I can guide you and sort of show you and explain in detail like I do here, but I do this 5 days a week across a much bigger list. Nothing on Leo that really interests me right now. That's just be careful. I guess probably the best thing to say is those lower time frames can be great, but if you are finding it difficult, then take a hint, back off, either minimize the risk or go to the higher time frames and, you know, spend some time getting better. Higher low, higher high, 4-hour. I've got an uptrend here on Link, but it's got to push on a bit more. I'm not too interested right now. Ooh, Litecoin. Hello, little fellow. What have we here? Looks like we've got a bit of a fall going on at the minute. Let's have a quick look at that 15. Yeah, looks like we've got a bit of a fall. I'm not actually being profit on XRP. What do you know? Wouldn't that be nice? Am I, Lance? You'd know. You're probably in it with me. Lance is one of my apprentices. Look, I suspect that candle's going to be too big in 10 hours. Possibly, maybe not. I can't find on these higher time frames a reason to be shorting that. Doesn't mean it's not gonna fall. Oh, you took the break, did you? Oh, with profit. Well, that's not bad. You're doing better than me at the moment. Yeah, I can't justify that until we get that cyclicity back. Haven't got that now. Now, Matic. What were we asking about Matic? A flat level or something? Is that right? Someone in the community? Oh, that was who was asking? Merv. That was you, mate, wasn't it? Oh. Yeah, mate. Looks good. There's a level there. There's no doubt about that. Let's just see what else we can match it up with. The break of a 4 hour. We've definitely got overwhelming downside more than upside. Look, it definitely doesn't come together to be absolutely perfect. What I will throw in is I'll just throw that level in. Is it the same or is it below? Gee whiz, by bees, Nick, isn't it? Have I marked that correctly? This is why I use horizontal levels, guys, because I can be accurate. When I look at things like people using sloping trend lines, it's just too easy to fake it to make you get what you want. When I look at that level on the 4 hour, I don't see it as being anything of significance. Why? We've broken it there. We've broken it there. We've broken it there. I'm going to kill that. I'm going to say I don't give two hoots about it, to be fair. There's something there, but it doesn't really, when you pump down the lower time frame, it doesn't really account for that much on the fall. On the daily, I mean, look, you can see that, yeah, there's been a bit of support there, but it's also broken it several times. So squirreling down those timeframes does give me more opportunity to understand what's going on there. And I don't have a problem with it, guys. The only thing I'd say is we need that third test. That's going to go into the old break box for our lists. Let's keep on moving. I'm not interested here. Mid cap straight away. I know why. Low, high, bang. It's just all over the shop. There's no interest when it's all over the shop. Could I go to the 1 hour and maybe go for a trade? Yeah, but it's not got the cyclicity there either. It's just not good enough. I want perfection. Why? Because it's my money. It's my money. I will trade when I see the strategies fit perfectly. And if they don't, I'm not going to waste my money. Look, I'm only marking that as a reference point for tomorrow morning. Really, OKB is not something I'm going to be looking at the moment. Shit perp looks pretty good on the weekly. No, was it 2 day? No, it doesn't even look too good on the 2 day, really. It's a little bit all over the shop. Get rid of that level. Back to the daily. No, mate, it's not bigger than a bee's dick. We're allowed to say it. Well, I haven't been fired yet. No, that's well within reason, mate. Not a problem at all. So that's one. That's two. Need that third. Not an issue. Good question, and good time for that question. When you see it, ask me. Right on. Let's go to Shitecoin Index here. Oh, that's right. We just looked at that. Tomo, the 45-year-old painter from the Central Coast, loves his Chico rolls. Look, I can't see anything, man. Look, it's some days there's plenty of opportunity. All right. No, I wouldn't count the early one, Ash. Some days there's heaps of opportunity. Some days there's not. This week, earlier in the week, there was lots of opportunities. Yesterday even there was plenty of options. On the weekend, plenty of options. At the moment, it's just that there's not all that much because we're in a state of flux. We're neither here nor there. What's that old, the neither up or down? Remember that nursery rhyme? It's kind of like that. Are we up? Are we down? We're not. There's some that are down that are clearly down. There's some that are up that are clearly up. But there's not a great deal of clarity out there. Look at Tron, for example. Look at it. It's all over the shop. I want clean, clear charts. As far as clean, clear charts go, I haven't been taken out of this. This is definitely my favorite downtrend. XRP has been pretty weak this year. If you look at, for example, let me take you through and show you this, right? Look at Bitcoin. That big sell-off, right? Boom. We recovered very well. And now we're back up around the highs of what, March? Was it March? Feb. My birthday is that day. The 15th, not the 14th. Otherwise, it'd probably be called Valentine's. Grand Old Duke of York. That's the one. Thank you. Well done. Yeah, so you look at the recovery that we had on Bitcoin. Now have a look at that to XRP. This is what I've really noticed this year. Look, that was that fall, right? That was that fall. We didn't make it back. We haven't made it back anywhere near the highs that we had at the same date on the 15th of February. We've only got, wow, how far have we... I've got that in my head now. Wrong one, I don't want that. I want you, Fibonacci. 50%, whereas the others made it nearly 100. So XRP has been very, very lackluster. It's been the ugly duckling, really. I entered this on the 8-hour, Jono. It's not the smallest of candles, I know, but it's not the biggest. The plan here was to take one with a tight stop, which was EOS. They both ended at the same time, because you'll actually note down here there was a flat level on here. Look, boom, 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 boom. All right. So I was, to be honest, I'm pretty stoked with how it went. This would have got 1-to-1 as well. I think that's what you said, Lance. You got your 1-to-1. But I took EOS as a breakout with a tight stop, and I took the 8-hour. The 8-hour, which one, John? It was this one, the cradle candle there. So that was yesterday, Arvo. Or no, morning. Yeah, I was in it all day pretty much. So that one, that clean pullback, good convergence. Look at the 16 as well. You know, good convergence there. Daily in a downtrend. Once again, all of these time frames pointing to continued downside momentum. So we'll see. It's messy as all hell right now, but I'm back at entry. So it's either going to be at least 1-to-1 or a break even, or it's going to be a stop out, because that's how I roll. Let's have a look here. I don't see too much on this. No, that little pop up through there. It's again, the market looks confused. I'm not interested in confused markets. Oh, that was a good one. Privacy perp, check that out. You know, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, pull back in, beautiful cradle, 1-to-1 achieved. And now if you're in that, you can move your stop to here, trailing that stop, and you've definitely locked in about 0.6 to 0.7% of the profit there. So that's a doozy. It's worked out well. Again, following that trend, that daily high, lower low. It's just a matter of following that trend, getting those time frames aligned. You know, getting that probability increased. That's what we want. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Am I going to do anything about it now? There's not really much to do. It's sort of mid-move. You know, it's mid-move. It's not where I want it to be. Theta sideways again, and DeFi. Looks a little bit no for me on that lower time frame. So look, this is someone mentioned Priv in the Slack community today. Oh, that's bloody good. Hopefully they got it. So not much at all. That's, you know, this is the world we live in. What was I looking at here? Priv Atom. Oh, the daily. That's for tomorrow. And Binance. This one. Here's the thing. You know, you do that entire list, right? You do that entire list. And you find maybe one. That's all you need. You don't need to trade lots to do well. So keeping an eye on that. That's a teardrop right there. It looks lovely. 10 p.m. is the time. That's the best of the best. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see too much more at the moment. If markets do swing in either direction and give me some lower time frame trends, then I'll go and pick the eyes out of it. But my process, guys, it's a process of elimination. I'm not looking for reasons to trade. I'm looking for reasons to leave it. The process of elimination allows me to have a focus on not trying to trade, but I've got to trade whatever's left because it's so good that I can't say no to it. So that's That's how I roll. That's what I do. And like I said, guys, we do have the end of financial year sale. You've got till midnight tonight. Take advantage if you want to. If not, then I shall see you back here. Oh, yeah, same time next week. Bit of a longer scam because it's a bit more detail I could go into here. And the detail wasn't about the trades that we're setting up. It's the reason that I leave them. That's where the value can often be, is knowing why I'm leaving things out. Guys, thanks for the questions and being involved. I appreciate it. I love it. And, let's keep it up, and I'll get another watch list out in the next couple of days. Don't forget, not got an account, sign up on the link below. Want to know how to use the account and the risk management? It's also in the description in that FTX order raising video. And I'll have an order video out tomorrow. I think tomorrow, Luke. I hope you're listening. On the YouTube. Ash. The it's called what's it bloody well called? Is it a brain fart? Platinum. Yes. Any of the subscriptions, half price until midnight, mate. So just drop in, let the team know. Go to admin@tradercobb.com and we'll sort you out. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.